If I can have your attention here in the Media Center, we will continue on with today's media availability with Brad Keselowski, driver of the number 2 Miller Lite Ford for Team Penske here at Darlington Raceway. If you have a question for Brad, please raise your hand. We will get a wireless mic to you. We're going to start here at Ben, and then we'll go to Jordan.
Brad, Ben White with the Lexington, North Carolina Dispatch. First question is, when you come to Darlington and you know that this can be a really tough racetrack, for you personally, what was it like? Do you enjoy coming to Darlington? Do you sort of semi-dread coming to Darlington? How do you feel about it?
How do I feel about Darlington, Ben? I love coming here. It's always been one of my favorite racetracks. I love the challenge. I love running up against the wall. Not always a big fan of the heat, but I do like that it's just a very demanding track. It makes you feel like a race car driver. Makes you feel like you're on the edge, and makes me really kind of appreciate my job. There's a lot. All the racetracks have their challenges, but this one just has so many, and is so unforgiving. If you mess up just a little bit, you're in the wall. Your day's ruined, and I appreciate that. It demands that to be successful, you drive aggressively, but also that you not make any mistakes, and that's pretty cool to me.
Jordan?
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. Brad, looking ahead to next week at Indianapolis, there's always talk whether NASCAR should go back there and whether it's a good track for NASCAR. A lot of talk about 2021 and what the schedule is going to look like. Does NASCAR, should it keep going back there? Does it have a place? Does Indianapolis have a place in NASCAR? Is it still relevant?
I think that's probably a better question for the NASCAR execs as to whether we should keep going back there. They seem to have a plan and know things that I probably don't know. But, I think that the reaction that we get from going to Indy is always going to vary. There's always going to be some open-wheel loyalists who, would rather not see us there. But, there's also been a fan base there that really loves having us there. So, I'm kind of mixed. I know I really enjoyed winning there. It's a big deal to me. It'd be a bummer if it wasn't on the schedule because we wouldn't have a shot to win there. So I'd hate to see that go away. But, that race has its challenges that I think are well documented. And I wish there was a way to work through them. I don't really have any specific ideas on what to do there. Seems like there's a few people working on it, but I'd hate to see it go away, mostly out of pure selfishness. But as for what's best for the sport and all that, I can't say I know all the scenarios to understand that fully.
If the race is to continue, would you be okay with it becoming a road course race, or would you like to stay on the oval?
If I was going to keep running there and they asked me, I'd say stay on the oval. I know there's kind of a pro road course movement going on right now, but I feel like we got a pretty good balance as it is. No problem. You got Jordan.
Go to your left to Hill, and then we'll go to Dustin.
Yes. Good morning, man. How you doing? I just wanted to tell you that this track I don't have to tell you. It's a very difficult track, too tough to tame, as they call it. Mm-hmm. And you've driven it for years. But what do you find the most challenging end for you, and how do you go about combating that?
Ooh. You want me to pick what place is the hardest?
For you. You got the wide radius turn in 1 and 2 and the tight radius in 3 and 4.
No, I hear what you're saying now. I've always felt like that end 3 and 4 is a little more challenging because, if you mess up over there, it seems like you are more likely to hit the wall. And the groove over there is tighter to the wall. So I've always felt like 3 and 4 was just a little bit harder than 1 and 2.
Do you guys try to set up as a compromise, or do you try to set up good on one end or the other?
I just try to be as fast as I can be. If that means one end over the other, it don't matter to me. I set up off the stopwatch.
It worked last year, didn't it?
It did, yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll come up front to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Brad, as you've seen the sport throughout all the years, you've seen how drivers' careers progress, and obviously we're looking at right now Jimmy Johnson struggling to make the playoffs. We saw toward the end of Jeff Gordon's career, not able to win as often. Tony Stewart, even Rusty Wallace, and so forth. As you get closer to that time period, and I'm not trying to run you out.
I think that's just, you told me I'm old. I don't know what you're trying to say.
But as you get closer to that time period, when you see a 7-time champion and see all those that have had those struggles, what do you think, and how does that impact you as you look ahead?
Well, I mean, the first thing I think of is, I want some of whatever Tom Brady's taking, because it doesn't seem to be affecting him. And then I look at guys like Mark Martin and Harry Gant, who drove in their 50s, and go, wow, how did they do that? There's some special practices or special genes. I don't know what it is, but it tells you it's possible to be successful in this sport for a long time. Do I have the answer to how or why certain people can do it and can't do it? No. I hope that I can, but time inevitably gets all of us. Death and taxes. And I know that one day it'll get me in my career, but that's okay. I'm happy with what I'm doing now and want to make the most of the window I have now. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway I get is I'm in a terrific window in my career right now, and I want to make the most of it.
And just like you said, for Jimmy, who's made the playoffs every year since there's been a postseason and all the success, again, as you say, time's going to catch up with everybody. But to see him go through this, for whatever the reason is, there's a multitude of reasons, but to see him kind of just to be struggling to try to get a playoff spot at this point with all that he's done in his career.
Yeah, it's I don't take any pleasure in someone else's pain, Dustin, and I know that that's probably very painful for him. I don't have any solutions. I'm not kind of close enough to what's going on over there, but it's just gives you all, myself included, a sense of how fragile this sport is and how fleeting success can be. No problem.
Keep it in the middle here to Pete.
Brad,
Yes, sir.
Keith McCall for WildRace1.com. I know your team has really embraced the throwback weekend every couple of years. This year, you're running one of Rusty's classic paint schemes. Did you have any involvement in the selection of that paint scheme, and has Rusty had a chance to take a look at it yet?
I get a little bit. They give me a little sneak peek and say, hey, what do you think about this one? And, I'm very lucky because Penske has so many great ones to pick from. When I think of Roger Penske, he's kind of the art director / owner, and he really takes pride in the paint schemes and has always done a good job at it. So they don't particularly need my help, if you know what I mean. But I can't comment on how much Rusty knows about it. That's a better question for the marketing guys at Penske. But he seems to embrace it as well, which is great. No problem.
Any additional questions for Brad? Well, Brad,
Terrific.
good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Hope to see you again Sunday night.